And I said, yeah, I'd love to. Like, where's the gig? And he said, he looked at his phone and he's like, it's the 3 Arena. I was like, whoa! Turns out it was Keith Urban, country legend. And he was like, yeah, I'm doing a gig sold out in the 3 Arena this evening. If you want to come with me and sing a song.
Amazing.
So, absolutely. 3 hours later, I was on stage in the 3 Arena. What do you know about the time when Lucifer fell after his crime? Oh, stars shine away. Hey, I just came to say, what do you picture when you look into my eyes? Do they tell a story that takes us away? What do you picture when you look into my eyes? Do they tell a story that takes us away? Taking away all of my pride, for God only knows what's left inside. The time when you're moving and grooving and doing what you do best. It's the time that I'm leaving and grieving and feeling like you do the rest. Oh, the stars shine away. And hey, I just came to say, what do you picture when you look into my eyes? Do they tell a story that takes us away? What do you picture when you look into my eyes? Do they tell a story that takes us away? Away.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Very welcome to the Beardfire podcast.
That was a very formal intro.
That's very formal. Well,
You're wearing a very formal jumper today.
Well, thank you very much. I think I look very nice in my new
Looking
jumper.
very well.
Hey, we're kind of twinning with the color scheme there.
Similar
Yeah, kind
colours.
of light blue, grey kind of thing going on.
That was planned.
Definitely planned. Absolutely. We are men of fashion here on the Beardfire podcast. Sam Clifford,
How are you?
welcome.
There he is.
Thank you very
There
much.
he is.
Delighted to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Yeah, we've been wanting to get you in for ages, even before when we were doing different shows on the, Near FM and things like that. And, we were very, we were able to share a bill at Whelan's and stuff like that. And that's where we kind of made contact for the first time. And then between everything, getting set up here, we finally actually made it happen.
I'm here.
You're here. He has arrived.
Finally.
He has arrived. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. There'll be a certain amount of people watching this to be familiar with Sam's work, especially, his busking in Dublin and his gigging. And you released a single last year, or was that earlier this year?
Last year, yeah. It was nearly a year ago. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
5th of November last year.
I remember.
Well, this year just kind of disappeared, so it doesn't
It did.
really
So
count.
really
It
quick.
might as well have been this year.
Yeah.
I remember there was some guys at the Zoe Clark gig in Whelan's where you were the guest, special guest that night, performer, and there were a few guys there who were like totally psyched. I was overhearing them, and they were like totally psyched about your single.
That's
Really?
right, yeah. Well, I think,
No,
they were like singing
lost
along.
the-
They
They
were
lost
singing
it
like all the
when
lyrics as well.
they played
No
it.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know who they were,
unreal.
but shout out to those guys.
I
you
love
know.
to hear stuff like that.
Yeah, no,
Love to
very,
hear
very
it.
cool. And music video and everything for that is out. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty and look at what I've got on my notepad here.
On the notepad.
On the notepad. So obviously, you know, we'll delve a little bit into the whole busking side of things. You know, we're familiar with a few on the busking circuit and have done kind of recording work and bits and pieces with them in the past. And you've been at it a while now. What age did you start busking?
I was 13 when I started.
Oh my word!
Wow.
And
Yeah,
you're
so-
87 now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't age you a bit. Like, you've just turned 18 in
Turned
August.
18, yeah.
So that's 5 years, man.
Yeah.
Wow. And how
Yeah,
often?
it's a while.
Like, obviously, I presume, obviously, there was the whole thing with COVID. You know, there was a spanner in the works for a period there. But, you know, not including that time, how often would you go out and busk?
Every weekend.
Yeah.
I try my best every weekend, and then during the week, when I have free time during the week, I'm out. I'm on Grafton Street.
That's it.
Doing
Yeah.
what I can.
Yeah.
Trying to get the name out.
That's it, and you've got a great little following there on Instagram. You're really well known, really well regarded in the scene, and you know, and it does. It makes you it just makes you so tight, and you know, and it strengthens your voice, and it helps you kind of deal with crowds and audiences and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a certain amount of kind of just tightness and skill that you get from busking that I don't think anything
Yeah.
else does, because it's not only is it the performance, but it's all the distraction as well. There's
Absolutely,
nothing more
yeah, there's
distracting
so
than
much
being on the
going on.
street,
Yeah.
trying not to get robbed, trying to entertain people as they're walking by.
Exactly. It's a project. It's like trying to, like, you've got thousands of people
Yeah.
going past you, and it's your kind of goal to try and get them to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
and pay attention.
It is a challenge.
Yeah, and we've been robbed.
So
while busking.
have I.
Yeah,
Who hasn't?
Many times.
You haven't busked unless you've been robbed.
Exactly. That's part of the job.
And what do you do? Like, we just stand there and keep playing. Like, there's very little, because I've kind of thought about it. I thought, well, what can you? They're very mobile,
They're very quick.
you know,
Yeah.
and they do the
They
thing
train,
like where they
you know.
pretend.
You see them in their tracksuits, and it's like
Yeah.
they're
There's so many-
sprinters.
They're
there's
so
many
athletic.
different
Yeah.
methods, like they put a coin in and take.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Or they just literally run, swoop, and they're gone.
Yeah.
To be
So
honest,
many
the
things.
coin, does it make much of a difference?
Probably
because I
not.
feel like you can, if they're that quick, they can just
Yeah.
grab it.
But at least with the coin, you get a little something back.
Yeah, exactly. It's like-
You got
Bit of
5
a
cents.
loss.
You know, it's all good. But yeah, like in terms of that, have there been any, like, has there been any moments in the busking where you're just like, this is there like a lowest point?
Well, like, of course, there's going to be lows. That's the whole point of the game. It's the music industry. There's going to be many
time.
lows,
Yeah.
many setbacks, but you just got to have that resilience to get back up on your feet
Yeah.
and keep going. You know what I mean?
100%. And
At the moment, I'm absolutely loving it. So
Yeah,
it's great.
great.
I'm hoping it stays that way.
yeah. But this is, you're exactly right. I mean, you could say that about life in general as well, but the music industry, it's absolutely, it's crazy, you know. And I guess the rewards are so great. The
rewards,
moments are,
yeah.
you know, the bizarre moments and pleasures of performing music and the things that happen, the unexpected things make it, you know, so worthwhile.
and I think the biggest challenge is trying not to get too down with the lows
Yeah,
and
you
trying not to
can't.
completely lose your head with
Exactly.
the,
And the highs.
high stuff as well, because
Yeah.
you get both of those ends of the spectrum and pretty much nothing in between.
Exactly.
A lot of the time.
No, there's no like middle ground.
No,
You're
no.
up there, you're down there.
Yeah.
But when you're down there, you have to work your way back.
Yeah.
up.
100%. You just keep going, you know. And, you know, this is what, speaking of one of the highs, we were talking about this before. And I remember this years ago appearing across social media. I think it probably even made some of the news.
It did. It
Yeah.
made a couple of the press.
So
televisions.
you were busking away. So tell us what
Yeah.
happened.
This is a few years. I think it was 2018, March 2018. I was busking on Grafton Street. It was an awful, awful day.
Yeah.
It was snowing and everything. Like, it was freezing cold. I think I was the only busker there. There were probably 2 or 3 of us. And busking away, normal L Sunday. And this guy's kind of walking up and down. He's sunglasses and a hat on. He's walking up and down the street and he's kind of listening to me. And I kind of copped him in the corner of my eye and just watching him as he's going. And then I decided to finish up because it was just too cold.
Yeah.
So I packed up my gear and I was ready to go. And just as I was leaving, he was like, "Hey, Sam, can I talk to you for a minute?" I said, "Sure, yeah." He says, "Listen, I've got a gig tonight and I'd love if you could come in and sit in and join me for a song."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'd love to." I didn't know who he was. No idea who he was. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. Like, where's the gig? And he said, he looked at his phone and he's like, it's the 3 Arena. I was like, whoa! Turns out it was Keith Urban, country legend. And he was like, yeah, I'm doing a gig sold out in the 3 Arena this evening. If you want to come with me and sing a song.
Amazing.
So, absolutely. 3 hours later, I was on stage in the 3 Arena.
Was that
my
your first
God.
gig?
Was it my first gig? I don't think it was my first gig, but it was the first big one. Yeah.
First one in front of multiple thousands of people.
Yeah,
oh
that
my
was
God.
massive. And the goal is to get back there.
That's
myself.
it, yeah.
Myself.
That's it. And
it's-
maybe
it's
Keith
just-
Urban will get up and do it. You
You
know?
never know. I got
it's
a taste
exactly-
for it, so it's just
Yeah,
literally work until I get there. You know.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Metroid games where the first mission you've got like all of your abilities and then you lose them and then you
Yes.
slowly have to like
Build
work
up
your way
again.
back up.
Exactly.
No, but that's it. I mean, not everyone gets that kind of opportunity. And it's a bit of a double-edged sword because sometimes when you've had something like that so early on, I mean, what were you, 15, 14, 15?
I would have been 14.
Wow, it's like, hey, is this my life now for the rest of
Yeah,
my
music's
life?
great.
Kind of a
This will be
confusing
easy.
space, yeah.
And then
Then you realise.
Then you realize, and
Oh.
okay, now, but it's like you said, but looking at it positively, and this is something about you and your personality. You're a positive guy, and it comes through in your performances and everything. Is that you can use something like that as motivation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or you can use it as like, oh, well, I'll never do.
No,
you have
absolutely.
to. You have to use it as motivation,
You have to have the drive to get back to it.
and you will. And maybe Keith Urban, like I said, he can do the support slot or something. He can get up and play the spoons or something.
most
Keith,
people-
if you're watching,
Yeah, there we go. And most people never get to play the 3 Arena, so
oh my
No,
God,
exactly.
oh my God,
even if you never get
so
back
cool.
there, you've done it, dude.
I'm so
You've-
grateful
yeah.
that I've already done it, but it's just I'm doing nothing but working to get back there.
That's
myself,
it,
You know what I
that's
mean? But
it.
it's just
I love
that
it.
gratefulness to know what I have achieved already. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
This is
And
cool.
and also, it just shows you that, that is one of the beautiful things about the music business is just these moments where, like you said, right when you're about to give up, right when you just think this is not worth it, you hang on for that last little bit, and just crazy random stuff happens.
Something happens, and you're like, okay, well, let's do
All
it.
right, and it means no matter how weird things get or how hard things get, you just never know how close you are from another one of these moments.
Yeah.
So you've been doing a lot of songwriting. Like I said, you put the single out last year. Songwriting. What's the strategy over the next kind of 6 months? Where do you see yourself? What do you feel like doing with regard to getting yourself out there?
Definitely over the next 6 months, I hope to have another single out.
Excellent.
Nice.
So I'm writing non-stop, more or less, and looking at recording them relatively soon.
Good.
Getting them sorted and getting them out, hopefully.
Great. And in terms of like the style of it going ahead, because one thing I do notice as well about your music is I think a lot of the young musicians are very focused on kind of the current sound, and
Yeah.
you still have a current sound, but it's like I do see from some of the covers that you choose and things like that you have quite an interesting kind of like bluesy stuff and folky stuff,
Like old school rock and roll.
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
1950s kind of stuff, and I'd love to be able to figure out a way to incorporate that sound into my modern music.
And I think you will, because I was introduced to a song, I think just in the last couple of days. I can't remember. Stephen, oh man, I should be able to remember this, but it was Stephen.
Oh yeah,
something.
Stephen.
I don't have my
I know
phone
that
on me.
song.
Stephen. But anyway, and I literally can't remember anything about it. But basically, it's a song out this year. The guy's 19, and it sounds like a Buddy Holly song done in like the 1950s.
love
It was
it.
done. So I think there is an appetite for that, and I think you should just and it's not something that everyone is going for.
And by doing it now in the current age, it is different. It's not
It's
just
different. It stands out, yeah.
50s kind of.
Exactly.
It's not just a Buddy Holly tribute act. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
yeah.
If you put a modern sound onto it,
Yeah.
then it can well and truly
Cut
do
through.
well.
Yeah.
like 808s in there, just like
Yeah.
trap beats, buddy trap, post
Buddy Holly,
Beatboxing over a bit.
Buddy Holly type beat.
Buddy Holly type beat. So, I suppose, is the idea then to support that with a couple of shows, or how do you see the live aspect going over the next little while?
Absolutely. Well, for my next single, I definitely love to do a release gig.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked into anything like that yet, but
Where would your ideal venue be? Like if you could pack it out. I'm not talking about the 3 Arena. We know the 3 Arena is the ideal venue.
release gig.
But
there's
in
so
some of the
many.
Dublin venues.
There's so many amazing venues in Dublin. Like there's Shinay,
Shay's great.
the Sound House, upstairs Whelan's, downstairs Whelan's.
Yeah.
Anywhere, I'd love to do.
Yeah,
something
Workman's
like
is
that.
good as well.
Workman's, exactly.
Yeah. You'd get it. And the thing is, you've developed this this following now, and you get enough people in to have a great night. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's the plan, and then support it with a bit of press and media and all that biz, and there you go. Take it from there. But in terms of just your own background, so you were busking from 13.
Yeah.
How did you start into music?
Well, none of my family are really musical. My mom is kind of a singer, and she kind of always taught me songs from a very, very young age. So I'm literally singing since before I could talk.
Yeah.
It's tiny. And then when I got to the age of about 10, my dad got me a guitar.
Nice.
He was like, I want you to learn this. I was like,
Okay, I'm 10. I will learn.
So then I just kind of pieced the two of them together. And by the time I was 12, I had the idea in my head that I wanted to go busking.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I need to save up, get a busking license, get all the gear. So I literally did odd jobs. I was cutting people's grass out the back garden.
Nice.
All this kind of stuff that a 12-year-old would do to make a fiver a week.
That's great,
You know
man.
what I
That's
mean?
great.
I
Very
was
good.
doing all that kind of stuff, saving up as hard as I could to get the gear, the license, everything. By the time I was 13, I was able to go out, and it was the best thing ever.
Very good, and you could see there already you had that drive and that determination, which is so important. I mean, look, the thing is the other thing with music is talent is really important. You're a talented guy.
Thank you.
But yeah, if you can match that with the long term grit of just persisting, that's the winning formula. So keep at it. What are you watching on Netflix at the moment?
Peaky Blinders.
The new
Peaky
season.
Blinders. I haven't started the new season.
What season are you
I'm
on?
on season 5.
How many seasons? I think
many
the
seasons?
last one I
Season
watched
6.
was like 3.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we saw the Tom Hardy one, and then was that it, or our parents are watching? I think they've just
Free
started
Solomon's.
We did we basically based our entire business model off
on the
that
first
show.
2 seasons.
So it worked pretty well.
We haven't killed anyone
Tommy
yet.
Shelby
No,
business
not yet.
persona.
That's it, man. I tell you what, he did
Hey,
all
we
right.
got a studio out of it.
There you go. It's a fine studio.
Yeah, if you look at the last 6 years, man, I'm just saying. You just sit there, watch that show, watch seasons 1 and 2, and just literally take notes. It's But and what about movies? Anything you looking? What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, that's a great question.
Are you a movie guy?
Not normally. No.
Okay.
I'm not normally a movie guy, but I do obviously watch movies.
Yeah. But yeah.
I like Bad Boys.
Okay.
All that
Bad
kind of
Boys 2.
stuff. Yeah, Bad Boys 2.
And that was the movie talk.
I mean, it is the world's greatest film.
Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
Like the bit where they're spinning around in a car and shooting. Mm-hmm. That's
Big
in
Mama's House as well. I like Martin Lawrence films.
Martin Lawrence.
I like
yeah,
it.
yeah. Wow, that's nice. Okay. What about any classic films like Jurassic Park? No, I think we should go back further.
Like
What's the
Die
oldest
Hard.
film you've ever seen?
The oldest film.
Yeah.
Bad Boys is pretty old at this point.
Oh yeah, what's it like? 90s. Well before my time. The oldest film, probably Jaws.
Oh,
that's a good
Jaws
one.
is
Yeah,
a very
yeah.
good film. Excellent. I saw that in the IFI on this outdoor cinema back in the 90s when I was about 7 or 8 or something.
Wow.
And there was one bit where and by then it was already old. Obviously, it was like the 80s. And but it wasn't as old as it was now. And man, it terrified me.
Yeah, it's a terrifying scene.
me.
Yeah, very terrifying.
I got so scared of that we were very fortunate in Australia where we grew up for a period of time. We had an above ground swimming pool for a while, which was great. But I was so scared of sharks, and I mean as a 15 and 16-year-old, 17-year-old, that if I was swimming at night, I'd be afraid to open my eyes underwater because you just see blackness, and I cannot, and I would just imagine a freaking shark, man. And I'd be like,
See, I love surfing, and I'd love to surf in Australia.
you'd love it,
But
dude.
the fear of the sharks, I don't know if I
No,
could.
the sharks are fine, dude. The sharks.
The problem is it's
more,
a lie,
More
man.
people get killed by cows than sharks.
Really?
In fact,
True.
what you do have to watch out for is jellyfish. Those will
Jellyfish
those will
are
really
bad.
mess you up.
They're the demons.
Yeah.
Other surface.
They will
They are the demons.
No, but
there's is it the box jellyfish where if you step on one you die within half an hour unless you get the antidote.
Yeah.
Lion's mane, they're dangerous as well.
Lions?
Lion's mane jellyfish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kayaked over one in the summer.
What do you mean? Where was this?
This was down in Connemara in Galway.
What do you mean you
I was
kayaked over
kayaking
one?
out
Did you
in the
run him
water.
over?
No, well, not quite. He was like here, and I was like pedaling.
And what
past.
do
I
they
was
do?
like, That's a line, mate. They kind of just.
Are they like man o' war things? Do they
Standard
wrap
jellyfish.
around you though? Like
Yeah. They have those.
Do they? Is
massive
it like
tendrils.
SpongeBob where they shock you?
Yeah.
yes,
They
exactly
shock
like
you to death.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I mean,
So it's kind of like whatever you do not fall.
So,
I mean,
so
at least I'd say at least it's probably not as scary as a jellyfish-maned lion.
yeah.
That'd probably be
A
worse.
jellyfish main line
would be worse than a lion-made
Because he
jellyfish.
can chase you.
So
Okay.
okay,
Really be in trouble.
Yeah.
so kayaking, surfing. What else do you do, Sam?
Everything.
Everything. Have you ever skydove?
No,
Would you?
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I'm terrified of heights.
Me
But
too,
it's something
actually,
I
yeah.
love to do.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Just
Yeah,
to say
just
I've
to
done
say
it.
you've
When
done
I'm like 85, sitting in my armchair, I'd just be like, I did a skydive when I was.
I thought you said you wanted to skydive
When you're 85, sitting in
Which,
your
to be
armchair,
fair, just in case
you out the plane.
just in case the parachute doesn't work. It's like, well, I've lived a long life. Might as well.
Yeah.
in the armchair and everything. Yeah, I think it's a good bucket list one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you know bucket list comes from the movie The Bucket List?
I didn't.
Did you know this?
We looked it up. Like,
Have we had this conversation?
yeah.
Yeah, I was hashtag team bucket list was a thing before the movie, and I was proven completely wrong. It's actually just from the movie.
Wasn't it a book or something, or was
Yeah,
it?
but what
no,
I'm
but
saying
like,
is-
when was the book from? Is it? It's pretty.
I don't know, but I think the term was only popularized once
Yeah,
the film
yeah.
came
Once the
out.
movie came out, yeah.
So kayaking, and where do you go surfing? Connemara, West Coast.
Surfing in
Galway.
Kerry, yeah.
Oh, Kerry, yeah. Lovely.
Inch Beach.
What beach?
Inch.
Inch. Is it very small?
No, it's actually huge. It's like 10 kilometers or something.
It's a lot of inches.
Yeah.
So when did you take up surfing?
Like 2 years ago. I don't do it too often, just in the summer.
Yeah.
the
Was it
odd
a
time in the
bit of a bit of a COVID project? Was it?
Kind of, yeah. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2020. I was in Kerry, and I was like, you know what? Might as well give this
Sure,
a go.
look
And I
it.
fell in love with it. So I
Yeah.
do it pretty much every
Did you
summer.
ever skateboard?
Yeah, that's
Not a
my-
good story.
End up in a hospital in the A&E. Like
Yeah.
Concrete is a lot harder than water.
Yeah.
generally.
Yeah. At least you can't drown in concrete though.
That's a good point. There's no
Unless it's
sharks in
wet.
concrete.
True. Yeah. Okay. I just died. So, one more thing. So, have you surfed outside of Ireland yet, or is that an
No, not
ambition?
yet. I'd love to do it in Portugal. I believe
Man,
it's
you could
great.
do like a great do they call it a surfing safari, or have I invented that?
I think that's like a song from the 50s or something.
Surfing
It sounds
about-
like it.
There you go. There's a project.
I think it's a thing though, isn't it? Where like
Business
you go
idea.
to a bunch of different places. You know what I mean? And
Well, I mean,
it's
you
like a
could
surfing
tie it in with like a tour because there's a bunch of musicians that they either
Jack
surf or
Johnson.
skate or whatever. And
Do you know Jack Johnson?
I can't say I do.
Oh, okay. I'll send
Is
you
that
Jack
the dude
Johnson.
with the? He showed a picture of his like tour rig, and it was just like
8
a load of
surfboards, like a
guitars
bunch
and
yeah, and
surfboards.
he plays like surf, like chill music. You know,
I'd love that kind of lifestyle.
This is-
Just
you
a big
want
tour
Jack
bus,
Johnson's life.
All
Yeah.
the gear and surfboards.
dude, you will just become. This will be good inspiration for you. I'll send it to you afterwards. So anyway, we're going to wrap up shortly, but
Cool.
just tell us a little bit about the song that people heard at the beginning of this podcast.
Well, this is Tell a Story.
Okay.
It's a song I wrote. I actually wrote it the day after the gig with Keith
Oh,
Urban.
really?
So it's
Really?
old enough, yeah.
Wow,
But I
okay.
love it, and I'm gonna prefer. It's unreleased.
Yeah, excellent,
guys.
man. Oh, thank you so much. Listen,
no
Sam,
problem.
absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thanks so much, guys.
Everybody
Thanks for having me.
keep an eye out for Sam, and just tell everyone what's the easiest way to find you on Instagram, stuff like that.
I'm on pretty much every single social media platform: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, everything.
Even
At
that
Sam
one.
Clifford Music. Check us out.
Sam Clifford, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Best
Take
of
it
luck.
easy.
Best of luck. Thanks, guys, man.